versus, well, Kent and Ketter are green-black dragons. I believe Jerry, yeah, it's just green-black at this point.
Yeah.
So don't be fooled. It's kind of a fight. We go into all 5 colors for the dragons.
Yeah,
but the deck's green-black.
The core of the deck is green-black. But you also get some Dragon Lords at the top end.
Of all sorts of kinds. You know, green-black are playing Ojutai, 3 of them.
So looking at the sideboards over here, Kent with 1 copy of Ugin, a Dragon Lord of Tarka,
Jamoka.
2 copies of Tassiger, 3 Ultimate Price, 2 Drown Sorrow, 2 Duress, 3 Foul Tongue Invocation. I just like all the removal here.
Yeah.
Ultimate Price and Foul Tongue Invocation seem great to me. And I like Dragon Lord Jamoka here. Pretty reasonably costed and excellent against mid-range attacking decks.
Yeah, I mean, especially because the green-red Dragon's deck, all of its removal is red. That's very difficult. I mean, 7's just a large number. Dramoka's a 5/7. She flies. That's not easy for him to swing through. I mean, Stormbreath Dragon that's his trump to her. But
Although,
that's about it.
Dragon Lord Jamoka just going on the offense and getting a lot of life is a reasonable answer to Stormbreath Dragon as well. On the other side here, Joseph Naseef with 3 copies of Hornet Nest, a Chandra, a Nissa, a Xenagos the Reveler, 2 copies of Seismic Rusher, a Rose, Destructive Revelry, Magma Spray, and Rending Volley. Not a lot of exciting action here. I think the Chandra is okay here. I think Seismic Rupture is fine, but this is not a lot of good action here for Joseph. But I think the core of his deck is pretty good here. Mana Acceleration into some mid-range flyers is not a bad recipe.
Yeah. And I agree. But post-board, you imagine Kent gains a lot of traction. Now, these players are sitting at 6 and 1, both well into day 2.
Yeah, just trying to, again, the difference between 6-2 and 7-1, it feels a lot different, and it is a lot different if you're trying to make the top 8. Where you're looking at an undefeated day tomorrow if you're X and 2 versus having a little bit of wiggle room if you're able to rip off a 7-1. Kent, one of the darlings of early 2014, played in the Players' Championship last year, has been playing a little bit on the Open Series, not as much as he was last year, certainly. Player who I believe came in 9th on Breakers at 2 invitationals last year. Pretty rough.
So Kent took the first sideboard game, so Joseph will be on the play for game 3.
Mm-hmm. And this is a very play-draw dependent type of matchup too. Especially these Dragon decks like Kent's, they can be a little fumbly. I mean, they're not necessarily the smoothest out of the gates.
Yeah, it's still a carry-added Wayfinder Courser deck. You know, there's a lot of spinning your wheels, setting up shop before you play your big threats.
To me, the big card for Kent here on the draw is Ultimate Price. That's the most valuable thing because even if Joseph gets out in front of him in terms of mana, Ultimate Price can catch him up, take care of the Thunderbreak region on the, on Kent's second turn. Very important sideboard card for him.
Right, players trade some tap land, start up the game. It's going to be Elvish Mystic or carry added for Joseph. Looks like he has some acceleration. It's going to be Mystic and maybe, yeah, there we go. A Rugged Highland. So he has one of those in the deck as well. Threatening to maybe make a Thunderbreak Regent as early as the next turn. One's in his hand. I don't know if he has the land for it just yet. On Kent's turn, it's some ramp of his own. It'll be Sylvan carry added as he passes back.
Yeah, and you can see Kent's hand is a bit of a clunker. I mean, this hand is definitely vulnerable just getting attacked by flyers. A lot of 5, 6 mana spells. You see even Ugin hanging out there. Nothing in the way of removal as far as I could tell. So very vulnerable to Joseph's good hands right now.
Now on Joseph's side, draws the untapped forest. That'll get him up to 4 on turn 3. Looks like it will be Xenagos that he decides to go with. Get that Planeswalker out before Kent has a way to attack it. It makes a Satyr as he passes back to Kent. And that's a good start for Joseph, I would think.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's probably not quite as good as Thunderbreak Regent, but with Kent's hand being as clunky as it is, Xenagos has the opportunity to do some work.
See where he goes with that. Going to be Courser on Kent's side, finds a Temple on top. He'll play that one for free. He gets the extra card. It goes up to 21, scries 1, sees carry added. Don't imagine he wants that anymore. No, it will go to the bottom.
Yeah, at this point, Kent wants to just be tapping out for big plays every turn.
And Haven, that'll help him fix his mana as he gets to his high end. You do see in Kent's hand, one thing he's building up toward, if he can survive to it, is a copy of Ugin. Looks like he has some black removal to bridge the gap to it as well.
Yeah, and Joseph's hand, I do not think is very good. It appears to be several copies of
Carry added,
excuse me.
Yeah.
And it's basically his whole turn to get those out of his hand.
Yeah, he got this early Planeswalker down, but because of these 2/4s on Kent's side of the board, he doesn't necessarily have anything. Xenagos isn't getting him anywhere. I do still think he may have a Thunderbreak, which we'll see what he can go for this turn. He needs to get something into play, though. Right now, he's not dealing any damage. As the game goes later, it's going to go against him.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a hand of Thunderbreak Region and mana. This is bad news for Joseph.
Well, a lot of pressure on that Thunderbreak Regent. Last turn, he chose to go for Xenagos over Thunderbreak, which I generally like. Now, if all you have is those are your only 2 threats, maybe you just go for the flyer first. I'm not sure. He plays Thunderbreak this turn.
Depends what he saw on the sideboard. I mean, if Ultimate Price came up last game, then I think it makes sense to go with Xenagos against the empty board. But Xenagos, those Satyr tokens are not doing a lot of work in the face of Corsair Crewfix, Sylvan Caryatid, and now Kent just with a lot of mana and a lot of cards in hand to work with.
Yeah, shows Ultimate Price on top of the deck, so if Joseph wasn't playing around it before, he's gonna know it's there starting next turn. Kent plays Haven. 3 mana. It's going to be Den Protector face down. He could have gone for an Ojutai this turn, but values his blocker and his life total pretty highly here.
Well, I think at this point, Kent's hand is so powerful that his priority is just preserve every point of life possible. The best way to do that this turn is just by saying, okay, I'm going to Ultimate Price your Thunderbreak Regent, morph the Den Protector. The next turn you have access to getting back the Ultimate Price if you want it, or simply drawing the Ultimate Price and casting that and doing whatever else you want with your mana.
He has to decide whether he wants to leave up that mana. By pricing right now, he would be tapping down the Caryatid, but if he doesn't do it right now, it is an extra mana for Joseph if he ends up plussing that to Xenagos, which we know he won't do. He just has mana creatures as he draws Mana Confluence for the turn.
Yeah, I like Kent waiting on the removal spell, because if Joseph, let's say Kent casts the Ultimate Price right now, and Joseph draws something like Roast, takes care of the Corsair Crewfix, now suddenly Xenagos is attacking for an appreciable amount of damage. So you probably stave off all of the tokens from the attacks from the Satyrs this turn and still kill the Thunderbreak Regent much the same way.
Great, so just the Regent comes in. That'll be enough for Kent to pull the trigger. Here's Ultimate Price, takes care of the Regent. Kent takes 3, goes down to 19, but his still well above water. Joseph with no replacement threat just yet. He'll keep making Satyrs, and now it looks like mana creatures will join the board. It is Sylvan Caryatid, 2 more mana, Elvish Mystic, or another Sylvan Caryatid, and plays Mana Confluence, says go.
And these are the turns that Kent would script if he could. I mean, his hand was a little bit slow. Joseph unable to punish it for him, and now it feels like Kent's getting to the stage where his really powerful cards are going to take over. Joseph's playing out his whole hand and doing nothing threatening while playing out his whole hand, which means that eventually Ugin wraps this whole thing up.
So it looks like Satyr Wayfinder will be the play for Kent. He'll try to find a land. He does not. Mills a bunch of cards, including Dragon Lord Dromoka. But he'll get another, and 2 Thought Seizes. He'll get another shot at a land, free land for turn. There's Opulent Palace. He'll take that one. It looks like his plan is to just play some creatures, buy back some cards with the Den Protector, and then play Ugin.
Yeah, and Kent's got so many paths to victory at this point. Den Protector down plus his copy of Ultimate Price in hand. It looks like he's going to go for Thoughtseize because he's so confident that he can beat the board right now.
Yeah, so he'll Thoughtseize Joseph. He sees 2 mana creatures. And also, Den Protector gets to kill the Xenagos this turn if Kent wants it to.
Yeah.
And yeah, he'll do that. Xenagos attack. Nobody can block it. And he's off the board. He knows Joseph has nothing. He's playing against his Ugin and Ojutai in hand against Joseph's top decks.
Yeah, it's... Kent's hand was a little bit on the clunky side to start off. Joseph had what seemed like the makings of a powerful hand, but then kind of petered out. And Kent's gotten, now it feels like 2 or 3 turns of breathing room, and he's making his land drop, setting up his powerful shop, and Ugin looms.
Good turn from Joseph. At least he draws Den Protector. And plays Elvish Mystic, plays out his whole hand. He'll get to Den Protect back what I imagine is Thunderbreak Regent.
Yeah, I mean, that's nice, but not enough to pull Joseph out of the situation.
Kent, that's land number 6, gonna be from hand. It'll be mana source number 7. Gains life up to 19. And Dragonlord Ojutai, looks like it's the play. There you go, Corsair on top. Ojutai, huge threat here, especially with cards like Haven.
And Joseph having just a hand of mana, and just a lot of mana in play. And even getting back to the Thunderbreak region won't amount to much because Kent can kill it pretty easily.
There we go, Den Protector getting back Thunderbreak. Joseph needs good draws here. But that Ugin is looming, and Joseph, this deck doesn't answer Ugin well.
Yeah.
So it looks
I mean, with 3 copies of Crater's Claws in the list, it's not necessarily hopeless for Joseph, but he basically needs to draw nothing but Crater's Claws for the remainder of the game.
All right, so he plays the Thunderbreak and then plays a Haven of the Spirit Dragon. Kent will ultimate price away the Thunderbreak. Joseph probably will get that one back. Kent down to 16, draws Courser, top card's Temple. Kind of needs to decide. I mean, he doesn't even have to. He can just play Coursers onto this board. Ugin can -2 actually and take care of Joseph's entire board with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kent's just looking for an untapped land here. He could have played this off of Courser, but I think he just wants to play Ugin this turn and shut the door if he can.
With the top 3, and there is an untapped land in there. Takes basic forest, ships Den Protector and the Temple. New top card. That's another Ojutai. That's fine though. Plays that. The untapped land. Goes to 17, taps Caryatid, and here is Ugin the Spirit Dragon.
Pretty potent on this board, I would say.
Yeah, if you -2 it, it gets all of Joseph's permanents. Now at least it leaves him with the lands. So he'll have to use Haven in response to get back Thunderbreak. Kent loses his Wayfinder, Caryatid, and Den Protector. Joseph loses everything.
Pretty favorable position here for Kent.
Joseph down to four cards in play, facing down an Ugin. That's not going to do what he wants it to do. And there's also still this Ojutai hanging out.
Yeah.
Joseph can play the Regent. Yeah, that does not seem like he will come back from this.
Gonna give Ugin a once over here. It's bad news all around.
I imagine Ugin, yeah, it would be hard for Kent to screw this up. I don't even. I'm coming up with trying to come up with a story.
Yeah. It would be. I agree. It would be hard for him to screw this one up. Oh, I have to back up here real quick here. Ugin exiled.
Yep. All right. Absolutely, those guys are not in the graveyard. Kent does have Delve. Does that play Murderous Cut?
Might as well keep
matters.
it clean. No reason not to keep it clean. It's easy to fix.
Den Protectors, yeah, lots of ways to interact. He's black-green. All right, Joseph's got a land and a Thunderbreak.
Really mulling this one over.
Sometimes though, like, it's a situation where I don't think, like, how do I win this? And then I start to think of, however I win it, it probably starts with me casting this Thunderbreak. And
yeah. I mean, Joseph trying to decide.
Let's draw a card and see how I win it.
Do I conceal the fact that I drew a land and take 1 off mana confluence, or do I deploy the mountain and save myself the point of damage? And the right play is it doesn't matter.
I'm gonna lose. That would have just.
I mean, I can appreciate, you still want to keep it tight. You want to try to figure out what you're supposed to do, but sometimes.
Kent downfalls the dragon, goes to 14. Swings with Ojutai and Courser, 7 damage. Joseph down to 9. Kent gets to anticipate, draw maybe that Foul Tongue Invocation. That's 4 life. It's got to be a pretty good one. Also sees Atarka, because there's a lot of dragons in this deck.
It's all good stuff. As you said before, I don't think Kent can screw this up.
Takes Foul Tongue. Sees Dramoka on top. Ugin will go ahead and shoot Joseph to the face. Joseph's down to 6.
Big draw.
That's a mountain. There you go. Kent Ketter, 7-1, and what a finish to the day for him.
Yeah, dominating performance there in the 3rd game. That's the type of hand, you're on the draw, you're sweating a little bit because you're very vulnerable to the best draws on the other side of the table. Joseph was not able to deploy an early Thunderbreak Regent, didn't deploy an early Stormbred Dragon. The Xenagos didn't end up amounting to much because Kent was able to sort of incidentally set up a shop of blockers there as he was developing his mana, and Joseph's hand just yielded nothing but mana, and at that point, Kent had all the breathing space he needed to get to cards like Dragonlord, Ojutai, and Ugin.
Yeah, and